The most distant human-made object in the universe is sending usable information to Earth again.
It's of a long journey, but now the Voyager 2 spacecraft has finally bid farewell to our solar system.
Out in the oldest, darkest regions far beyond our solar system, where sunlight is nothing but a distant memory, a lone, human-made machine has been drifting for nearly 50 years. Voyager 2, launched in 1977, was never designed to return home. Its purpose was simple: to witness the unknown. It swept past the planets, slipped out of the heliosphere, and crossed into the interstellar medium, becoming humanity's most distant messenger in the endless void. The world moved forward, but Voyager 2 never stopped listening. And last month, it answered. Not with a routine status update, not with radiation readings or solar observations, but with something no one was prepared for. A transmission so structured, so intentional, and so deeply wrong that it left experts stunned. At first, it sounded like ordinary static, but hidden inside was a repeating pulse, precise, rhythmic, unmistakably artificial. Researchers tried to decode it, assuming it was interference. What they discovered instead was chilling. A pattern, intelligent, complex, and undeniably not from Earth. When they traced the signal back to its origin, they realized something was moving near Voyager 2. Not drifting, not orbiting, tracking. And in that moment, the old spacecraft became more than a relic of the past. It became a mirror, reflecting a truth humanity has avoided for far too long. Voyager 2's instruments may be old by modern standards, but they're still incredibly sensitive. They can detect even the slightest changes in plasma waves, magnetic fields, and cosmic radiation. But in a recent data download from the Deep Space Network, something strange showed up. A low-frequency spike repeating every 11.2 seconds. That isn't random cosmic noise, that's a timer. At first, engineers chalked it up to a software glitch from deep space interference. But when they went back through the older telemetry logs, they found the exact same pulse weeks earlier, completely overlooked at the time. With new AI-powered filtering tools, the picture became much clearer and far more unsettling. The pulse wasn't just repeating, it was growing stronger, and it wasn't coming from Voyager 2. It was coming from outside the probe. Even more disturbing, the signal carried a unique spectral signature, like a fingerprint. It resembled hydrogen resonance, the most common element in the universe. Except it was inverted, twisted into something that shouldn't exist. Some scientists brushed it off as a bizarre cosmic phenomenon. Others feared it might be deliberate interference. But no matter the explanation, one thing was undeniable. The silence of deep space had been broken, not by random noise, but by something that understood how to speak in mathematics. By analyzing triangulation data and tiny delays in the signal's frequency, Mission Control discovered that the source of the pulse wasn't stationary at all. It was moving right alongside Voyager 2's path, almost as if it were following the spacecraft. But whatever this object was, it didn't behave like anything bound by normal orbital physics. It would speed up, slow down, and change pace in sharp, controlled bursts, movements that made no sense under the pull of any gravitational body. When analysts tried running simulations to map its path using standard Newtonian physics, every model broke down. The object wasn't drifting, it was adjusting, as if it were reacting to Voyager's faint radio transmissions. Even stranger, it wasn't sending signals toward Earth. Instead, it was reflecting Voyager's own data back into space, altered, distorted, like some kind of engineered echo. Behind closed doors, theories spread fast. Could it be an old satellite from a forgotten mission? A surviving artifact from a long-lost extraterrestrial civilization? A hidden surveillance system, waiting in the dark? Whatever it was, it had remained completely silent for decades, until now. And it looked like Voyager's signal may have been the thing that woke it up. Things became even more unsettling when linguists and signal theorists joined the investigation. Inside the strange transmission were binary segments that clearly didn't come from Voyager 2's original command systems. When researchers used pattern recognition software to visualize them, the results were unexpected. perfectly symmetrical shapes, spirals, fractals, and geometric patterns that looked strikingly similar to ancient symbols from Earth. From Sumerian cuneiform to Nazca glyphs, these weren't just radio pulses. They were glyphs encoded as waveforms. And the deeper scientists dug, the more obvious it became. The message wasn't random. Its structure matched what you'd expect from an intelligent attempt to encode visual ideas using electromagnetic harmonics. Some experts suggested this might not be a communication at all, but a test, a way to see if humanity was advanced enough to even notice the message hidden inside the noise. If that was the test, humanity had just passed it. Voyager had become an interstellar trigger, and someone had finally decided to respond. Then came the breakthrough. A young physicist at Caltech ran the signal through a deep learning AI built for cryptographic simulations. The output wasn't just a rough translation. It continued the pattern. The AI began predicting the next segments of the transmission, mirroring its internal logic as if it were completing a sentence. That should be impossible unless the signal itself was recursive, a loop designed to spark interaction, a puzzle waiting for someone to solve it. At the same time, billions of miles away, Voyager 1 detected a magnetic fluctuation almost identical to Voyager 2's original pulse. 2 spacecraft, 2 anomalies, both reacting as if part of the same event. It no longer felt like coincidence. It felt coordinated. And so the question shifted. It was no longer, what's out there? It became, why now? Why, after nearly 50 years of silence, did something finally choose to answer, right when we're just beginning to understand how to read it? Just when scientists thought they still had time to decode the mysterious message, Voyager 2 suddenly went completely silent. At first, Mission Control assumed it was simply an aging hardware failure. The probe is, after all, more than 46 years old. But then, everything changed. Deep Space Network receivers in California, Spain, and Australia all reported the exact same thing. A perfect simultaneous loss of contact at 1437 UTC. A global simultaneous failure? Statistically impossible. This wasn't a glitch. Something had cut the signal, cleanly, precisely, and in sync with the pulse pattern Voyager had detected earlier. But the real shock came 5 minutes later. A narrowband radio wave struck Earth from the same region of space. It carried no obvious structure, no decipherable data, yet its power matched the kind of signals we usually detect only from distant pulsars. Except this one wasn't coming from a neutron star. It was coming from the area around Voyager 2, and whatever produced it was moving closer. Leaked data from a classified JPL briefing made the situation even more unsettling. A foreign object, still unidentified, had begun changing its course in direct response to Earth's outgoing signals. Each time the Deep Space Network sent a command to Voyager 2, the object adjusted slightly, as if studying the way we communicate with spacecraft. The implication was chilling. This thing wasn't just listening. It was learning, and its path was no longer random. It had shifted into an intercept course, not toward Voyager 2, but toward our solar system. Analysts gave it a code name, Echo Lantern. Why? Because it behaved like something playing with reflection and silence, using our own transmissions as a guide, turning our technology into a beacon. And the more data scientists examined, the clearer it became. Voyager 2's final signal hadn't been a message for us. It had been a breadcrumb for something else. As the object moved closer to the heliopause, the boundary where the solar wind meets interstellar space, something impossible happened. The solar wind bent. NASA's IBEX probe and ESA's solar orbiter recorded a sudden drop in solar wind pressure, followed by a complete collapse along a narrow corridor pointing toward Voyager 2's location. Nothing like this has ever been recorded in decades of heliophysics. Solar wind doesn't simply stop unless something enormous, like a planetary magnetic field, or something unknown interferes with it. The corridor remained open for 3 hours. Inside it, no radiation, no particles, nothing. Just silence. It was as if something had opened a passageway, not through ordinary space, but through the very rules that define it. Scientists are now calling this the first known evidence of intentional manipulation of solar particles. And the only thing capable of causing it was still shadowing Voyager 2. Then, just as abruptly as it went dark, Voyager 2 came back online. But this transmission wasn't normal telemetry. It was encrypted, which should be impossible. Voyager 2 has no encryption system. It was built in the 1970s, and yet, when Mission Control decoded the binary stream, they discovered something astonishing: a rearranged version of the Golden Record message, the one humanity sent into space in 1977. Only now it was altered. Human voices were reversed. Music had shifted in pitch. The star maps were mirrored. Coordinates that once pointed to Earth now pointed to empty regions of space where no stars exist. It looked as if the message had been hijacked and rewritten, not to say "here we are," but "we hear you." When engineers examined Voyager 2's systems after this Golden Record anomaly, the discovery was chilling. Several command subroutines inside the probe's onboard computer had been rewritten. Not corrupted, not damaged. Rewritten. Lines of code untouched for 46 years had suddenly changed, using syntax Voyager wasn't even built to understand. Yet somehow, the spacecraft was executing these new instructions. These routines weren't sent from Earth, not from NASA, not from any known source. They were internal, meaning Voyager had received instructions from somewhere else and carried them out. But the most frightening part wasn't the rewrite. It was what the new code aimed to do: a long-range transmission, not toward Earth, but toward deep interstellar space. Voyager wasn't merely listening anymore, it was talking back, and no one knows what it said. Within hours of this discovery, major observatories in Japan, Chile, and Greenland were abruptly ordered to redirect their instruments. All three were told to scan the exact sectors of space aligned with Voyager 2's new transmission vector. At the same time, leaked encrypted communications from a European defense agency referenced something alarming: the Wake Protocol, a protocol many believed was Cold War mythology. In reality, it's a multi-agency directive activated only under one scenario: confirmed contact, especially when a probe begins communicating independently. The Wake Protocol includes lockdowns of classified satellites, shutdown of certain radio frequencies, forced rerouting of telescope arrays toward the Kuiper Belt. Why? Because once a machine sends a message without human authorization, humanity is no longer in control of first contact. And global authorities must prepare for the worst, that something or someone out there might answer in a way we are not ready to face. Then a new anomaly appeared. For exactly 41 minutes, multiple satellites and ground stations experienced what scientists are now calling a temporal echo, a looping signal in which data packets repeated in perfect synchronization, as if time itself were replaying the same moment again and again. These weren't archived files, these were live feeds, real-time telemetry repeating in an impossible loop. Voyager 2's data repeated, solar readings repeated, even unrelated probes were caught in the loop. Some physicists now suspect this wasn't a technical glitch at all, but a controlled pulse, a localized disturbance in space-time near Voyager 2's position. If that's true, then whatever is interacting with the probe isn't just intelligent. It may be capable of manipulating temporal fields, bending causality, or projecting information across dimensions. A group of astrophysicists analyzing the anomaly gave it a mythological name, Kronos Bloom, because if this event truly involved time distortion, then the fundamental rules of our universe may have just shifted. And then, 2 days after the Kronos Bloom, everything escalated. Remote monitoring stations in Norway and New Zealand both detected a signal coming from interstellar space that passed directly through Earth's atmosphere. It wasn't a reflection. It wasn't an ionospheric bounce. It entered our atmosphere with pinpoint accuracy like a laser. The signal was narrowband, high frequency, built from the same subharmonic patterns as the Voyager anomaly. But the most chilling part wasn't its arrival. It was what happened next. The signal didn't dissipate. It embedded itself into Earth's systems, riding along global infrastructure, ocean sensors, weather satellites, communication buoys across the Pacific. It didn't just pass through us. It stayed. Now that signal is part of our planet's data network. No one knows what it's doing. No one knows why it was sent. No one knows what activated it. But one thing is unmistakable. Whatever Voyager 2 encountered, whatever it awakened, it has found a way to reach us. While the world's attention stayed fixed on Voyager 2 and its mysterious transmission, a small team of independent astronomers in Brazil made an unexpected discovery. While reviewing old infrared sky surveys from the 1990s, they found a faint, cold object following a path nearly identical to Voyager 2's trajectory. Yet somehow it had never been catalogued. It didn't emit radiation. It didn't reflect much light. It simply moved, slow and silent. Further analysis suggested the object had been there since at least 1981, quietly trailing Voyager 2 from a distance, always just outside the range of Earth's detection systems. The question stunned everyone who saw the data. Was this the source of the anomalies? Was it using Voyager 2 as a decoy or an amplifier? They named the object Echoed Zero. What made it even more unsettling was its path. It wasn't random. It followed a logarithmic spiral, a pattern found throughout nature: seashells, hurricanes, galaxies, and the golden ratio. The implication was chilling. Whatever Echoed Zero is, it wasn't drifting by accident. It was traveling with purpose, using mathematics not just to navigate, but to hide. Then the James Webb Space Telescope was quietly redirected, without any public announcement, to examine the region between Voyager 2 and the origin point of the incoming signal. What it found was not a single object. It was a field, a spread of reflective masses so faint they barely appeared in the infrared. They moved together in a coordinated flow, like a school of fish responding to an invisible tide. This behavior didn't match asteroids, comets, dust clouds, or anything naturally occurring on that scale. It was a formation. Webb's spectroscopic scans revealed something even stranger. These objects contained exotic alloys, materials that included elements with half-lives so short-lived they should have decayed to nothing millions of years ago. Yet here they were, intact, stable, clustered, and reflecting our own transmissions back toward us. With that revelation, everything shifted. This wasn't simply about Voyager 2 being watched. It wasn't about a probe hearing or sending a message. It was about Earth, about us. And it suggested a disturbing possibility. Our spacecraft weren't discovering something out there. They were being used. Our machines weren't witnesses. They were bait. Shortly after the James Webb data leak, cybersecurity teams across the world noticed something deeply unsettling. Buried in the constant flood of global internet traffic, amid trillions of routine packets, they found low-frequency data bursts that didn't match any known digital protocol. These packets weren't harmful. They didn't trigger firewalls or malware alerts. They simply existed, repeating across cloud networks, undersea cables, and even encrypted government satellite systems. A research group at MIT finally isolated the pattern and traced its origin. The frequency signature was identical to Voyager 2's final mysterious transmission. Think about that. A signal detected billions of kilometers from Earth had somehow woven itself into our planet's digital nervous system. It wasn't a virus. It wasn't an attack. It was more like a hidden melody, no lyrics, no beginning, no end, quietly reshaping the way machines communicate. Some experts called it a new form of communication. Others warned it was the early stage of digital assimilation, because once foreign code moves through systems it was never meant to touch, those systems are no longer fully ours. Then something even stranger happened. Space is never silent. There's always the faint hiss of cosmic background radiation, the leftover echo of the Big Bang. But for exactly 18 minutes, radio observatories in Chile, South Africa, and Australia recorded a complete absence of that cosmic noise. No static, no signal, nothing. It was as if the universe held its breath. After a frantic series of checks, the noise returned, but it wasn't identical. It was slightly shifted, the tone warped and bent, like audio that had been paused and restarted with a different pitch. This shift wasn't random. It matched the exact timing and waveform of Voyager 2's last anomaly. That's when a startling idea began circulating among a quiet circle of scientists. What if the universe didn't go silent because of an error? What if it was interrupted, briefly overwritten, to insert something new? We sent Voyager 2 into the cosmos as a symbol of hope, A drifting bottle cast into an ocean of stars. We imagined that maybe, just maybe, someone would stumble upon it. But what if it wasn't stumbled upon? What if it was anticipated? What if our message wasn't a chance encounter, but a trigger? Because everything we've seen, the metallic pulses, the rewritten digital pathways, the 18 minutes of cosmic silence, makes it clear this isn't coincidence. Something out there didn't just detect us. It waited for us, and now it's speaking back. Not with language as we understand it, but through our own technology, our own networks, our own machines. The question isn't whether they heard us, it's whether they ever stopped listening. Maybe Voyager 2 didn't discover something alien. Maybe it reactivated something ancient, something that knew we would reach out eventually, something that was prepared to answer. And now that the reply has begun, we're no longer in control of the conversation, so we're left with one final question. What exactly did we awaken? And can we survive the response? Subscribe and stay tuned.